I've only just got an Android phone. Still don't. So you can smile, you can look miserable, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to tell you so many jokes that you're going to be delighted. Especially with all those empty seats there. Nice job, Amaze.
Move forward.
Just wondering how long it'll take you to say what's he doing. So, first, thank you very, very much for coming to us this evening and ignoring the competing tech talk next door. It's obscene. I bet we've lost at least 50 people to that. That's my excuse anyway. Who said what's next door? Amaze next door as well. There's nothing next door. Just some company that have a canteen. Nothing really. Is technology making us stupid? So, I don't wish to sound a little bit too forward, but a bunch of technologists have just come to a talk accusing them of being stupid. Perhaps that answers our question, I'm not quite sure. Good lad, go on. We've got Chris at the back, our video guy. Yeah? He was the one that enabled that tripod to work. That's why we've just given him a job. So just a little bit of a background into what we do here at Amaze. You've probably heard of the company if you're here, but just in case that you've not, we're a digital marketing agency, but we also do a load of other stuff as well. But at our core, we make websites and we create digital experiences for our clients. We do commerce, consultancy, basically means we make brands and we make websites for brands. And that's what we do. Come and work for us, something like that. That'd be great. Find out more on the website, but we'll stop there. The recruitment ends now because slag off recruiters. The Tech Talks by Amaze series. We did 4 of them earlier in the year, and they were really, really well received. And they focused around our Amaze Academy. And the Amaze Academy, I should actually say at this point as well, I'm full of a cold, so I'm particularly sorry to you guys. Brilliant, there we go. So I'm going to keep going every now and again. Apologies to YouTube, and apologies to Imran, because he has to save this Tech Talk for us tonight.
I've got some water for that.
Thanks so much. So yeah, the Tech Talk by Amaze series was originally an Amaze Academy project. Now, the Amaze Academy are here tonight. We've got Imran presenting with me this evening, and we've got a bunch of people at the back. We're actually one Academy member down, but we don't talk about him.
They look like a boy band.
Who looks like a boy band?
They do.
Well, you're a girl.
Well, that's why I said they.
That's why we gave her the job. Brilliant. So, we did 4, and because they were so well received, we decided that we'd take a break and relaunch them when the new Academy starts. So Amaze Academy is essentially our graduate scheme, and what we do is we give people jobs and we train them for 6 months. We give them innovation projects, and essentially they kind of train themselves as well as getting some training in specialist areas, for example, Episerver, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, they come in with a certain amount of technical skills, so they could be computer science graduates, or they could just be people that have potentially done it at college, or just have an interest, demonstrated an interest in the topic, and then we give them jobs. Really, really as easy as that. We only got about 10 applicants. Great. Welcome to our 8th Amaze Academy. So just a little bit about me. My name's Stuart Kirby, and I've worked at Amaze for around 1.5 years. I'm the Academy Manager, and I head up our training provision at Amaze. So looking after the Academy, looking after our outreach programs like this, and working with education. A few things that we've been doing recently which we're dead excited about. We've just certified a course with the Manchester College, so that's called Computer Science and Developing Digital Solutions. And we worked with the college to create a bespoke course that would tackle the digital skills gap that the digital sector has at the moment. And at the end of the 2 years, these college students will have robust, relevant skills that they can apply commercially, and we've put our badge next to it, so they bloody have to. Anyway, Manchester College were due here tonight. They sadly can't make it now, but it's a cool course, and that's one thing that we've been up to recently. Imran Pardes.
Hello.
That's Imran. So, so I was a teacher for Manchester College, funnily enough, up until 1.5 years ago, and now I'm here. We don't talk about that either, but yeah, so there we go. The title of tonight's talk, Is Technology Making Us Stupid? A little bit of a show of hands, just on one thing first, just before we get started into this. if Amaze were to do a Tech Talk Pro or Pro Tech Talk series where we'd be looking at quite specialist areas, for example, I'd deal with a particular area of iOS development or the digital skills gap or something like that, or a JavaScript developer would get in and they'd deal with a particular area of it, something really geeky. How many people in the room would be interested in attending that? And please be honest. It's for you, mate. Ah, there we go, a few more. Cool. So that's something that we're actively exploring at the moment. These tech talks are quite introductory, they're quite laid back. As you can see by that, we're not really going to accuse our local community of being stupid, so you can, that's a spoiler for the ending. Of course it's not. We'll see. Stupid is a pretty emotive word, so that's why we chose it. Is technology making us stupid? We'll hopefully explore that this evening. Imran's got some fantastic facts coming up your way, and I've got some jokes, which is great. So we decided to use stupid because it pulled you all in. If we'd have gone for Is technology making us lazy, we feared that you might not bother RSVP. So we thought, let's make you stupid instead, because then you can at least shout at us when it all goes horribly, horribly wrong. Now, just as a quick bubble into where the idea of Is technology making us stupid comes from. When we were thinking, right, it's time to relaunch our tech series, or our Tech Talk series, well, what are we going to do it on? We've done Internet of Things, which was really cool. We've done the future of money. We've done a talk on VR where you put this thing on your head and then you look like a muppet to everybody else in the room. I was in a hotel bar once, and there was a guy with a Samsung Galaxy non-exploding edition right in his face, like this. Now, he was in a hotel bar. I think there was a concert on or something like that, or a football game on in the local area. So whilst he sat in the corner, kind of doing this, having a great time, there was about 8 or 9 lads on the other side of the bar. And as he was kind of looking around like this, getting more and more into it, I dread to think why, these 8 or 9 lads actually started getting quite angry. What's he doing? Why is he doing that? And he looked bloody stupid. So thinking about that tale is what inspired tonight's talk. And I am not immune to it either. The other day, I kept saying this. Hey Siri, turn the lights off. Hey Siri, turn the lights off. And I was getting all sorts of curious responses back from Siri, but at no point did the lights go off. I kept getting all sorts of errors. I do not understand that. I do not know where turn the lights off are. I do not know what the living room is, etc. Now, at this point, most people would probably think sod it, but not me. I didn't sod it. 7 or 8 hours, man hours, you know, in the end, my Philips Hue bulbs, which I always talk about, are bloody great. You weren't that good then. And the great thing is that the light switch was right next to me, so there's like this portable button that I could have pressed, a Philips Hue tap, and I didn't. I refused to be defeated. Was I defeated? Of course I was defeated. But you know, it was worth a go. So I'm stupid with technology as well. Now we've got a small proposition for the evening. You can outsource your knowledge, but you can't outsource your skills. So that is something that I was thinking about in preparation for this talk. You can outsource your knowledge, but you can't outsource your skills. Does anybody have any immediate thoughts on that? Agree, disagree, or do you just want to see where we're going to take this?
Well, you can teach your skills.
Say that again.
You can teach your skills, which is kind of like outsourcing them.
I suppose, yeah, you could do what I think more what I'm getting at with this is you can't outsource your skills for someone else to do it. I suppose you could teach someone your skills and they could do it for you, but it's more quite personal rather than outsourcing jobs and knowledge to other people. But yeah, so you can outsource your knowledge, but you can't outsource your skills. So that statement is what I'm going to be sticking with for the rest of my part of this presentation. It will then go to Imran and then come back to me. You can outsource your knowledge. So let's look at that statement first. Very, very briefly, it just requires a little bit of an understanding as to what knowledge actually is. And this is pure introductory stuff. I was a teacher. I did all sorts of teaching qualifications, which came in extremely useful. I get to talk to 30 people about it this evening. You know, years well spent. So, what's knowledge? Generally, it would be information, something like that. Things that you know, and generally theoretical. Please note that word. There are all sorts of competing theories against this. You can say knowledge is this, you can say knowledge can be practical, etc. But generally accepted that this is pretty much what we're talking about when we're dealing with the word knowledge, or the idea of knowledge. I will not let this joke go to waste. So laugh immediately, please. That would be great. Are there any Man United fans in the room? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Getting smaller with each passing tech talk. That is fantastic. It's alright. It's alright. We've got Claudio Bravo. So, these three things: information, things you know, and generally theoretical. Things you know, and what about things that you don't? So knowledge is either something that you know, or a gap in your knowledge would be something that you don't know. So, as a little bit of a test, I gave 4 people this evening some questions when you were milling about outside. And I just wonder what the outcome of this is going to be. How many calories are there in 100 grams of Simply Nutty Muesli by Dorset cereals? Who got that question? What's the answer?
378.
378 calories.
Calories.
Well, that's quite impressive. Don't clap. No. How many calories are there in 100 grams of this muesli? 378. Admirable. What's the population of New Jersey? You got that?
I do.
And what's the answer?
8.9 million.
8.9 million. Don't clap. No.
We might be wrong.
No, don't do that. I just said don't do that. How much is the cheapest mirror that IKEA sell? Who got that? What's the answer?
£3.50.
£3.50. Bloody Brexit. It was £1.50 this afternoon. Right, fair enough. So £1.50, bloody good. £3.50 is, well, still alright. You know, it'll do, I suppose. Always bloody one, isn't there? You know. And finally, when did Versace introduce the now discontinued Jeans Couture fragrance? Who got that?
I didn't look it up. I'm sorry. I was chatting.
There's 5 minutes to go. Yeah? So, absolutely spot on. 2002. Good lad. Yeah, good man. Now, 3 out of 4 people. 3 out of 4 people knew the answers this evening to 4 absolutely nonsense questions. Only one chap was efficient and didn't bother. Wasting his time because no one will dare bloody say I don't know anymore. Or at least 1 in 4 will say they don't bloody know anymore. So no one ever says I don't bloody know. The first thing that you'll do, get your phone and you'll find the answer. Fair play. It works, it's efficient. You didn't know, then you know. And that's kind of the point in what I'm getting at with you can outsource your knowledge. You don't need to know how many calories are in a bowl of cereal. You don't need to know when Versace, you certainly don't need to know when Versace introduced some fragrance, because you can always find out now. Of course, there's one problem, minor problem, is that if everybody simply gives up and relies exclusively on technology without the introduction of AI, that content will eventually dry up. But obviously, we don't anticipate that happening. But ultimately, outsource that knowledge because Google's going to give you everything. And I thought that was interesting. One out of 4. So knowledge outsource. We don't need to know everything because the web is there for us. Theory 1. You can't outsource your skills. So this is possibly a little bit tricky to think, but let's have a quick look. For any Man United fans in, skills are things that we can do. Again, a very general thing. Things that are practiced by application. Knowing all the key statistics about a football game means you're very knowledgeable about that game, but try playing in it. Gary Neville. So, you can know everything, you can study, you can find out loads of things about this. How likely is it that Man United are going to get into the Champions League? How likely is it that Manchester United are going to, win a game? That kind of stuff. You can know all of that, and in fact, many people do. Many of us are football experts, but when it comes to playing it, less so. So you can study something, but the skill is actually applying it and doing something with it. Now, I wouldn't like my GP to not have the skill to treat me, but I don't mind when he looks in his book to get some knowledge. So, is there a difference between a GP and his book versus Imran having the same book? I'd go with the GP every time, because the GP's got the skills to apply whatever it is that he's reading in that medical book. Qasim Fareed. For the camera, Qasim Fareed. He knows the key principles of Counter-Strike. He knows to aim head height when next to a wall. He knows to stay still when he's shooting. And that's true, Qasim. That's true, he's told me that. But if you ask him to do that, not a chance. He can't do it. So I once tried to help him out. I set up a server, one-on-one, so I could help him practice. So trust me, he can't do it. Now for the people that are a little bit sceptical in the room, you may wish to reverse the roles of me and Qasim in this, but please don't do that, because you'll find the truth. Qasim did spend several hours, days, weeks, trying to teach me to shoot straight at Counter-Strike, and I simply couldn't do it. I know what I have to do. Yeah, I mean, no, no. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, knowledge, I know what to do in Counter-Strike, but when it comes to actually doing it, I've got no chance. I just can't do it. And I just spent 1,500 quid on a gaming PC. It's going to a lot of use. I've got myself a keyboard that every time I type on it, it lights up. It's glorious. So we've always sought to acquire knowledge, but perhaps that's changing. Students are still students, universities still universities, colleges still colleges, commercial is still commercial. We need to know stuff, we need to be able to do it, but perhaps the introduction of technology is changing the way that we know things. Developers, for example, aren't expected to know everything. They can't know everything about their chosen stack. There's always going to be things that they don't know, but they've got the skills that they need to go find out the answer and then apply it. We can all look at, again, so Microsoft Developer Network, we can all look at that and find out everything that we need to know about the C# programming language. But not many people can actually apply what's written. So the skills are something that we need to play around and practice with. So, technology isn't making us stupid, and it isn't making us lazy. What we're doing with it might well be though. Now, Amazon Dash, has anybody used it? Fantastic. You see? Oh. Fahad has used Amazon Dash. And what did you order? Toilet roll. Who'd have thought that? So, Fahad, take a Bowson. The only man in the room that can't be bothered going to buy toilet roll. And I dread to think the situation when you realise you had to press that button for toilet roll. But never mind. Of course, with Amazon Prime now, Amazon Dash, you think it's a 24-hour turnaround now? But if you got Prime now, you could probably get it same day. They're there for you, man. They're there. So, I'm just going to pass over to Imran, who's dealing with a little bit more of the conceptual stuff in this, and he's going to do a bloody good job. It's his first presentation for Amaze, so be nice. Go on. Thanks, mate.
Hello guys. Is this your slide?
And he's off to a flyer.
So basically, as you all know, we always use technology. But the thing with technology is that we use it, it does help us. It helps us with storing information that we need every day, such as addresses, meetings, the time of flights, phone numbers. But we're also constantly abusing it, which also leads to forgetfulness. We forget the information if we truly want to remember. That's why we're treating our technology as secondary source, as an external part of our memory. Actually, just like a hard drive, we find the information, just like we go to our phone, we go to our contacts, we find the information, but it's not stored as a long-term memory. And this external memory is known as transactive memory. And transactive memory, just to give you a little bit of insight, it was first proposed by Daniel Wegner, who was a professor at Harvard University, but sadly he died. And for simplicity's sake, what transactive memory is it's an external memory system that it's used by us, but historically it was other people. So what this means is, back then when the spectrum was particularly different, is that we would ask other people, our relatives, people we used to work with, what we need to ask to find that information. So back then, if I wanted to know something about front-end development, I would ask a web developer. But now it's changed. now we use the internet for this. So I use Stack Overflow. You guys know. And Kaspersky Labs, they went beyond Google effects. They went beyond saying that this effect of this forgetfulness extends beyond the Google effect. With Google effect was also research done by Betsy, who's a professor at the Columbia University, I think. And does anybody know why this area of forgetfulness is caused beyond finding information from Google? Do you know why? It's because we are getting many more. It's not even Google. It's the applications that we use. It's the applications that we use. So now we've got Monzo, which is a digital banking app that stores all our information, all our spending, where we've spent. We've got all these other apps which saves all our passwords, which we do not really need to remember because it's just stored locally and it's also stored in the cloud. So that's why we're reaching a point, as I've said before, because it has to be repeated, a phase of forgetfulness. And another point is that it's not necessarily a bad thing that we're using this technology to store information. It's because we, as years and years go by, our life becomes more and more complex. So technology does help us to be more efficient with time. Opinion Matters is a research firm, and what they did, they surveyed 600 consumers in Europe and it spanned across, so it was UK, Germany, Italy, Spain and Benelux. And they surveyed 16 to 55-year-olds. And what it was on, it's sound out, but I'm just picking stuff. So young children aged 10 to 15-year-olds, average about 60% could perfectly recall their home number. But whereas when it came to their parents, they couldn't recall their children's school numbers at all, or even in some cases, their children's numbers. And do you know why more than a half of children can remember their house number, but the parents can't remember their children's number? Does anybody know why?
Because children are 20 years wide.
Yeah, so you understand why. They don't have, their life is not prevalent with technology yet, because they're used to their parents doing most of the work for them. And in the coming years, because we're seeing so much of these social media apps, that these young people will tend to stick with technology. So I expect these numbers to decrease. So in about 5-10 years, these children aged between 10 to 15-year-olds might not even know their house addresses anymore because they say, I can't be bothered, really, because it's just stored in their phone. And also, another question that was put forward for these consumers was, how would you feel if you lost access to the data that you stored in your device? How would you feel? And most of them said that you would feel really sad. And of course, I would feel really sad as well. And it was particular among women and younger people. And these are basically the stats, where sad people, 38.1% said that they would be really sad if they forgot the data. By the way, we will tweet the links out for these references because these are all from Kaspersky Labs blog. They've got all these tables. And overall, if we include all the countries, because I only included the UK because it was relevant, is that 44% of these women and the same number of 16 to 24-year-olds would feel sad if they lost access to the information that were on their devices. And 25% of women say that it will panic. I'm not attacking women, by the way.
Disclaimer from Amaze is really not.
Because if I do that, then I'll get sacked. But then again, because as I was saying before, there are apps such as 1Password, which will store your passwords, so you do not need to know your passwords anymore. And there's also, I think, the OS on the Mac has where it will predict the password for you. You don't need to remember it, but it will be stored on in your settings, so you can access it back. And these numbers will decrease, but there are many researchers will give a counter argument saying that because our lives are becoming more and more complex, that we do not need to know these informations anymore most of the time, because it's really not efficient. And for this reason, because these devices are following a set of rules, we trust them more than our own parents, friends, to know these information, just because they follow a set of rules and they don't break up most of the time.
You're going the wrong way, mate.
But I don't use a Mac, guys. Also excuse. This one's funny.
Yes.
But by the way, peanut, it doesn't mean peanuts, by the way. It's a it's Cheerios on Cheerios. What the hell is that? And basically there was a research done by Mariana about how the emission of blue light. It's alright, calm down. How the emission of blue light in devices actually causes us, actually suppresses the melatonin that's produced by the pineal gland by 22%. Yeah. And what melatonin does, it helps you sleep. It helps this sleep cycle. And when we're on our devices such as computers, phones, if we more than them for 2 hours, our melatonin gets decreased by 22%. This varies between the age groups, by the way. And not having enough sleep results into decrease in focus of work and the destruction of actual brain tissue, which leads us to becoming more and more stupid. But there are ways that manufacturers are kind of making like an insurance plan. So at night, such as Flux, which has been around 2007, but not many people know about it because no one knows about it really. It's been an Android. But once iOS 9 released Night Shift, it became really popular. And what Night Shift does, and so Flux does, it makes your screen turn orange. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It turns your screen orange, and then you can change the intensity of the orange color, and this decreases the blue light. But because people want bigger and better displays, brighter displays, there's no way of manufacturers figuring another way out to make these screens more healthy for us, so they don't destroy our actual brain tissue or decrease our melatonin that's produced by the pineal gland.
Is that the one that changes during the day? Like if we,
it changes during the day.
Doing the office at like 4 o'clock, all of a sudden the display's gone brighter because it's darker outside. And
That's that true tone display.
That's the true tone display, and then you've got your night shift, which you mainly turn on at night.
So what's going on? Yeah, so was sat there and suddenly it goes brighter. Yeah.
So what you do once you turn night shift on,
It's like 4 o'clock comes or something. It's gone dark outside.
That's Flux.
Right.
But with night shift, you can change the intensity of the orange.
Alright.
And what this does, this decreases the blue light, and the blue light causes is a suppressant for melatonin.
Right.
Especially when you want to sleep, and this affects mainly young people, because now there's a tendency of lack of sleep with young people. They wake up really late.
Does that hit a commercial level then?
Sorry?
Does that hit a commercial level? Because I saw
Yeah,
one person in our office used it a while ago. And I didn't know what it was. Really.
I used Flux, but once I had an iPhone before the S7 Edge,
Right.
and I used Night Shift a lot,
Right.
particularly when I was before I slept, because it does help. It does help. And the other thing is coming away from blue light is that because we've got our phones, we've got all these social media apps, all these games, it makes us easily distracted. And I'm a culprit of one of them, especially when I'm working. Like I just go on 9gag every like 10 minutes and just look at memes. And what this does, it's like a barrier, it's like a wall that stops the working memory from transferring information to your long-term memory. So you just lose focus. And I want to end by asking, what would happen if this active memory, such as Google or all these applications that are available for us in the App Store or Windows Store, what would happen if they weren't available? What do you think?
It returns to the Stone Age pretty quickly.
We don't go to the pub.
Go back to encounters.
We'd all actually not be able to cheat on pub quizzes.
Yeah, that's true.
These quizzes. Yeah.
Well, Betsy, one of the researchers who led the Google effect, she said that if we want to know the information really badly, we would go to people. So we would change back the spectrum to those historical days when we used to ask our parents, we used to ask other people, and we still do it today, but it's not as often as asking Google or as me, Stack Overflow. But if you want to know the name of an actor or the name of a film, you just say sod it. I just wait till it becomes online again so I can ask. And that's it. Thank you very much, guys.
Mr. Imran Partners in his first presentation for Amaze. And he's nicked my phone. It's from you. So, bloody good stuff. So with this topic, we can kind of go around it forever and ever. And there's lots and lots of different things about how technology could be making us more or less intelligent, how it can be making us more efficient, more lazy. See it professional lives, day in, day out, developers. IntelliSense, is that making us lazy or is it making us more efficient? It's making us more efficient, but it's automation. And automation is not necessarily a bad thing. The purpose of tonight really was just to give a fairly light-hearted introduction to a fairly huge topic. Anybody generally interested in psychology and how humans work and learn will probably have a field day with this kind of topic area, so I recommend that you get more and more out about it because it's really quite interesting. Thank you very, very much for coming to see us this evening. This is our first Tech Talk for a while, as I mentioned. We haven't done one since, I think, February, and the last ones were quite technical. This one kind of blurred the lines a little bit. Our next Tech Talk is going to be about how technology is transforming medicine, and that's going to be a fairly technical talk with some medical slants, and it's going to be delivered by Nomi. So, if everyone just looks at it so she can remember who does not return at the next Tech Talk, we can make a note of you. That's fine. So, by the end of the evening, all of that food, all of those beers, all of those Coke, no, not the Coke, all of the food and the beers must be gone. Not stolen, anyone from Hume, but consumed on the premises, please. Thank you again for coming. I'm going to head back out there now so we can have a quick chat and things like that. But yeah, if you've got any questions, rather than doing it as a Q&A session in here, which is a little bit dictatorial, we're going to be milling about out there so we can all chat about it then. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.